In today's video, we are going to be talking about apple cider vinegar and its benefits, specifically when it comes to insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. Apple cider vinegar has long been praised for its health benefits, everything from killing bacteria to improving skin health. But what we are going to focus on today is the impact it has on blood sugar levels and insulin levels. Because if we can control these, we can start to reverse insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. So in today's video, we're going to talk about apple cider vinegar, the benefits of consuming it, and if it can help us to manage blood sugar levels. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Kate. I'm a health coach and I post videos on a high-fat, nutrient-dense way of eating. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, feel free to share, and make sure to subscribe. And make sure to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, where I share new posts every single day. Today's video is sponsored by Squarespace. For everything from websites and online stores to marketing tools and analytics, Squarespace is the all-in-one platform that does it all. Head to squarespace.com/healthcoachkate to start your free trial today. Apple cider vinegar is made from fermented apple juice. And you might automatically think that this would mean that it is high in sugar, as it is made from apple juice. However, the fermentation process breaks down the sugar so that there is next to none left by the time apple cider vinegar is created. But how does this tie in with blood sugar and managing it? Well, studies have shown that consuming apple cider vinegar before a meal can significantly lower the blood sugar and insulin response. One study had participants take 1.5 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar 2 minutes before a high-carb meal that included a bagel and orange juice. They found that the group that consumed the apple cider vinegar were up to 34% more insulin sensitive an hour after eating, compared to the group that consumed the placebo. But what exactly does this mean for insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes? Both of these conditions are the result of the body not managing blood sugar effectively. They are actually basically the same thing, because type 2 diabetes is caused by insulin resistance. Insulin resistance starts long before you see any change in your fasting blood sugar though, so it often goes undiagnosed. If we can identify and address insulin resistance early, we can stop it before it inevitably leads to type 2 diabetes. Because when you first become insulin resistant, the excess insulin that is being pumped out is enough to manage the excess blood sugar. But eventually you come to a point where the insulin just can't keep up anymore. So your insulin is high and your blood sugar is now high. But I'm getting ahead of myself. We first need to understand what insulin resistance is before we can understand how we can use apple cider vinegar to address it. Insulin is a hormone known as the fat storage hormone. When we eat, insulin increases in order to take the energy from our bloodstream and bring it to our cells. Now, when we become insulin resistant, our cells stop responding to insulin, so our insulin remains elevated and our blood sugar remains elevated as well. Now, because insulin resistance is caused by high insulin levels, also known as hyperinsulinemia, the remedy to reversing it is to keep insulin low. When insulin is kept low, our cells become more sensitive to it again. And as our cells become more sensitive, our blood sugar and insulin return to normal levels. But what causes our insulin to remain high in the first place? There are a number of factors that come into play, but the main one is diet. When we eat, carbohydrates are broken down into glucose, and this causes our blood sugar to rise. In response to this rise in blood sugar, our pancreas will release insulin. Insulin is responsible for managing blood sugar levels, so it takes the excess sugar out of our bloodstream and brings it to our cells. Eating too many carbs and eating them too frequently means that the body is constantly pumping out insulin to keep blood sugar in check. And as we already mentioned, it is this constant stream of insulin that causes us to become resistant to it. To reverse it, we need to keep insulin low. And apple cider vinegar can potentially help us to do that. Having 1 to 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar diluted in water before a meal can significantly reduce the blood sugar and insulin response to that meal. One small study found that if the participants took apple cider vinegar before eating white bread, the blood sugar response was over 30% lower. And there are a few other studies that mimic these findings. Another study had diabetics take 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar before bed, and this lowered their fasting blood sugar in the morning by 4%. So clearly, there is something to this. But before you get all excited thinking that apple cider vinegar is the secret to you eating whatever you want, think again. A 2018 review looked at the short and long-term effects of diabetics taking apple cider vinegar. It showed that apple cider vinegar can be effective in the short term, 30 minutes after eating, but that at the 60, 90, and 120 minute mark, the difference was insignificant. So here's the thing. Apple cider vinegar is not magic. Yes, it can help to mitigate the response of blood sugar and insulin to an extent, but on its own, it isn't enough to reverse it altogether. And reversal should be the goal, because it is possible. If you are only focused on managing symptoms, you are not doing anything to lower your risk of developing further diseases, because being insulin resistant or diabetic significantly increases your risk of heart disease, Alzheimer's, PCOS, and more. The best way to reverse insulin resistance? Eat less carbs and eat less frequently. Carbs are the macronutrient that raises insulin the most. By limiting them, or even eating the carb-rich foods at the end of your meal, after your protein, fat, and non-starchy vegetables, you can significantly reduce the insulin load. And eating less frequently, not snacking in between meals, and even incorporating some intermittent fasting can give your pancreas a break and allow blood sugar and insulin levels to return to baseline before your next meal. I do have several other videos on how to reverse insulin resistance, so I will link one above and you can check it out afterwards. So if you are following the tips that I just laid out, combining apple cider vinegar might provide some added benefit. But apple cider vinegar on its own is not a cure-all. Now, before we wrap up today, I just wanted to take a quick moment to tell you about today's sponsor, Squarespace. It's thanks to companies like Squarespace that I am able to put out 2 videos per week and provide you with as much free content as I can. So if you are thinking about building a website for your business or for personal reasons, such as a blog, Squarespace has got you covered. I have used a few other similar platforms in the past, and none of them have been as intuitive to use, have had everything I needed, and really ended up looking as good as Squarespace does. Seriously, the templates are awesome and so easy to customize with style editing. One of the coolest things about Squarespace is that they have SEO or search engine optimization tools built right in. This means your website will be found in search results by the right people more often. SEO is super important because if your website isn't showing up in search results, how are people going to find you? Head to squarespace.com/healthcoachkate to start your free trial. And when you love it and decide to launch, use code HealthCoachKate to save 10% off your first order. Thank you again to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Anyways, guys, that's all I have for you today. I hope this video helped to shed some light on apple cider vinegar and the role it plays in blood sugar and insulin levels. Let me know in the comment section down below if you consume apple cider vinegar regularly. And remember to give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend who you think might find it helpful. If you did enjoy this video, you might also enjoy my video on the best low insulin foods you can eat to reverse insulin resistance. You can check it out right here. If you want to catch up on my most recent upload, you can find it here. And if you want to check out my keto diet and carnivore diet coaching programs, you can find them here. Thanks again, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.